Hi, grade 11s. So today's lesson is on youth leadership, and I'm continuing with our topic of inequality. Youth leadership is the practice of teens exercising authority over themselves or others. So now I'm going to introduce you to some other activists, and at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a really exciting assignment to do. So this is Greta Thunberg. She is 16 years old and she's a climate activist. She sparked massive online response when she delivered a speech at the United Nations General Assembly to shame leaders from all around the world for their inaction on climate change. She is also an advocate for gun control, education, and LGBTQ plus rights. Next, we have Shama bin Suhail Faris Mazri. She is 23 and her focus is youth advocacy. After an impressive academic career that included a degree, a bachelor's degree from New York University, and becoming the UAE's first Rhodes Scholar, which earned her a master's in public policy from the University of Oxford, Mazrui was appointed as Minister of State for Youth Affairs when she was 22. She makes an effort to empower young people in the UAE to be active in their society and government. Then we have the Parkland shooting survivors. They are all various ages and their focus is gun control. They were at the center of a massive youth movement for gun control after surviving a massacre at their school that killed 17 of their classmates. The 5 teenagers sparked the hashtag #NeverAgain movement, which saw thousands of students walk out of school in a massive nationwide youth protest that swelled behind causes like stricter gun regulation and a general increase in youth participation in politics and policy. And they still continue with their advocacy today. This is Yara Shahidi. You probably know her from Blackish and Grownish. She is 19 and she is a women's and girls engagement activist. Shahidi first entered the spotlight as a young actress, and she formed Yara's Club in partnership with the Young Women's Leadership School, which sets up digital hangouts for high school students together to discuss and confront social issues. She also worked on former First Lady Michelle Obama's Let Girls Learn education initiative before Obama provided her with a letter of recommendation that contributed to her road to undergraduate studies at Harvard. This is Jamie Margolin. She is 17 and she's a climate change activist. Margolin began organizing lobbying efforts and public demonstrations at the age of 14 in her hometown before she grew frustrated with the lack of engagement and response to enacting real change to address climate change. She founded 0 Hour, a youth-led climate action group that seeks to emphasize the urgency of the effects of climate change on communities across the world and organizes marches, summits, and demonstrations put on in partnership with other youth organizations. Okay, this is Isra Hersey. She is 16. She is also an advocate for climate change. After learning about the sharp, racially divided effects of climate change, the 15-year-old Hersey sprung into action to get climate change on the official agendas of local and national lawmakers. In January 2019, she founded the U.S. Youth Climate Strike Group, an American chapter of a global climate activist movement. In her role as executive director, Hersey has been a key part of activating a chapter to join the estimated 1.6 million students across 120 countries to skip school in March to demand official action on climate change, and she spoke at a march, a climate strike in last year, September. Okay, this is Marley Diaz. She is 14 and her focus is diverse representation. Diaz is the founder of the hashtag 1000 Black Girl Books campaign, which she started when she was 11, to collect and donate 1,000 books to her peers that featured black girls as the main characters when she was sick of reading about white boys and dogs. That's a quote directly from her. The campaign was a massive success, and she has since been honored on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. She published a book to inspire other potential activists titled Marley Diaz Gets It Done, and So Can You. Her initial mission remains intact as she wants to create and share stories to be reflected for the black girls who are reading them, so they can identify themselves and learn about their history, as well as open up to people who are different, to understand and see and grow from those things we don't understand. Okay, so those are some activists that are around your age. I hope you all feel inspired and have a look at the attachments for your assignment.
All right, how's everyone doing? Good? Good. All right, so I'm Maya Al-Zubi, and I'm a senior here. But today, I kind of want to steer away from the core curriculum. I want to talk about something that's relevant to today's society on a daily basis. So to outline my presentation for you all, I'm going to start off by talking about what diversity means. Then I'm going to talk about the role of power in diversity. From there, we're going to do a simple exercise, and then I'm going to go into my interests in high school. And then to wrap it, finish it all off, I'm going to talk about youth leadership and how you can get involved, regardless of your age. So I'm asking you to come hand in hand with me as we talk about diversity and youth leadership. So to start things off, what does diversity mean? If I were to ask a group of people, the overwhelming majority would say diversity means different ethnicity. Diversity means different race or different religion. But I kind of want to step in a helicopter and branch out. Diversity is a limitless concept. It has no boundaries. Let that sink in for a moment. Diversity can be your ideas. It can be your thoughts, your approaches. It's not limited to just race, ethnicity, but it can include race, ethnicity, and religion. It's also your age, your sex, your gender, your sexual orientation. The beauty of diversity is it's everything, and it's everywhere. So with that, I want to talk about the role of power in diversity. Because power is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. So we need to take a look at how power can be detrimental in society. So to do so, I have two examples for you guys. First example is prejudice. We all have prejudice, and if you don't know what prejudice means, it practically means preference. We are all born blank slate, and we grow up in an environment where we start developing kind of tendencies and preferences to certain lifestyles, certain ideas, thoughts, approaches, certain faiths, and that's completely okay. It's human nature to have prejudice. But as soon as we enact power on that prejudice to an opposing group, we get our isms. So if I'm enacting power on a race, we get racism. If I'm enacting power on a sex, we get sexism, ageism, the list goes on and on. And we can even get to the point where that becomes emotionally painful, or even physically painful, through bigotry. My second example is self-interest. We all have self-interest. We all want what's best for ourselves, right? So it's okay to have self-interest. It's human nature. But as soon as we enact power, as soon as we abuse that power, we get selfishness, a concept that's essentially detrimental to society. As soon as we have selfishness in an environment, in a society, we're no longer thinking about the whole. We're thinking about what benefits us. But we should start thinking about what benefits the whole. And to do so, I want to kind of transfer into my simple exercise. So I brought my little art project for you all. And I'm going to ask a simple question. Just shout it out. What color do you think this book is? Black, right? Is it purple? But what if I told you it's red? Do you still think it's black? Because the overwhelming majority would think it's still black. But as soon as we switch perspectives, we kind of step foot, and we realize that there's more to the story. Now, you guys are probably thinking, wow, that's so simple. Is it just the difference between black and red? No. We gotta take this into the scope of society, in our communities. Start stepping into a different shoe, Start changing perspectives. As soon as you do, you're welcoming innovation. And so with that, I'm gonna talk to you guys about my interest in high school and how it all happened. So junior year, I realized that I want to change my perspective. I kind of want to see what life is like on a different side. So it was all simple. It all started locally, and I joined the Young Activist Coalition. I wanted to make change in my community. So I became a part of the managing team, and we started leading movements. You might have heard of the March for Our Lives or the Women's Marches. We started leading movements like this because we wanted to help people change perspectives. And as soon as we did, we started innovating in our community in Cincinnati. But I didn't want to stop there. I knew I could take it one step further, and my curiosity drove it. I knew I had a passion, but I didn't know what it was for. But I knew as long as I changed my perspective, I was going to innovate regardless. So, before I explain how I took it globally, I'm going to talk to you guys about youth leadership and the 3 keys to embodying youth leadership. If you guys have these 3 keys, I guarantee you're going to make a difference in your community. The 3 keys are curiosity, perspective, and exploration. So with curiosity, I think it's the most important one. As long as you embody curiosity, your success is going to come to you. So curiosity drives passion. So when you have curiosity, it steers away ignorance. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, you can cure ignorance by questioning. So question everything. Just don't sit there and be ignorant, Go out and explore. So that's what curiosity is. Have a drive, want to know more. With the second one, perspective, like we just spoke about, change your perspectives. And as soon as you do, the innovation will come to you. But if it doesn't, that's where exploration comes into play. When the innovation doesn't come to you, you go to it. So by exploration, start researching. Start seeing where the gaps are. That's what it's all about. And so I have the United Nations logo up here because that's where I took it globally. So I had a curiosity and I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I knew I wanted to take it globally. So I started researching and exploring, what did I want to do? And I took it all back home to my home country of Jordan. The youth in my home country didn't have a platform to voice their concerns. So I started researching, persisted. I started contacting the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Youth, the Jordanian Embassy, the Permanent Mission. And I just kept going, and I persisted. I kept wanting to research. And it got me to the point where I founded the United Nations Youth Delegation Program for my home country of Jordan. And I'm honored to be under consideration right now to be the youth delegate to represent in the General Assembly in the coming year. So with that, I'm telling you guys, as soon as you network, as soon as you enter the global family, you become closer with one another. That's what it's all about. So as soon as you change perspectives, as soon as you explore, as soon as you drive that curiosity, you're gonna make change. And it's that simple. My whole global perspective change, it sounds complicated, but it was quite simple. So I'm encouraging you guys to look to your left, look to your right, and kind of realize that we're all one big family here. We're all one big global family. And so, if you guys haven't been paying attention to the presentation, I just want to make sure you guys get this one marked down. Diversity, it isn't actually what makes us different, it's actually what we share in common. So with that, I'm going to share, to finish things off, I'm going to share with you guys a video of two of my friends. They're the German youth delegates to the United Nations. They represented Germany in the General Assembly this fall. And I collaborated with them over the summer. And I networked, I collaborated, I connected. And I realized that we share so much in common. And as soon as I connected with them, we became really good friends. So it's as simple as this. Start connecting, start exploring, drive your curiosity. As soon as you do, you'll innovate. So I'm going to leave you off with this video.
Hi, my name is Lucas.
Hi, my name is Antonia.
Together, we are the German youth delegates to the European General Assembly for this year.
We believe that diversity is a benefit at all times, also for youth empowerment.
Only diverse and inclusive youth participation is good youth participation.
Nothing about us without us.
And with that, my presentation is finished. Thank you guys.